Alright, so it will be time to check out a new event that has been released, the Verge of Silence. Now, I personally believe that this is a prequel to the wormholes and to the wormhole space, and I believe that we will get wormholes very soon. Now we have two of these sites or systems. One is the save system, the other is a PvP system. Let's jump in the first one. Now, this has a very similar setup to the previous tests that we did with the dreadnoughts and in the arena. Now let me quickly adjust my modules before I warp towards the sleeper base. I picked my Balgorn because why not? I had this ship on disposal, so I'll be flying the Balgorn for now. Okay, all modules are now in place, and let's warp towards the sleeper base. Okay, and let's warp to 40-50 kilometers. Sleepers are very dangerous, at least from my memory in EVE Online, so I have to be careful what I'm doing here. There is 80 other players in the system.
Warp drive active.
Basically what we have to do here is destroy the base and level up the station. You can level up the station by submitting the ore that is mined at the asteroid belts. And what do we have here? That's a lot of ships. And I see some sleepers are already getting destroyed. They also made the modules look very nice. Haven't seen these ships in a very long time. Very happy to finally see them in this game. So, you might be asking me, what does this mean? Well, like I said before, I personally believe that this is a test that will affect the wormholes in the future. Basically, we are testing out the sleeper AI or the overall sleeper ships, or in this case, shooting them down. They don't have shields, they have good armor, and they have hull. There's 90 ships in this system. There's a lot of things going on here. Not quite sure how much damage they would do to me, although I'm pretty sure that I have seen some battleships just pop out of nowhere, so I believe they can be very dangerous. Although our fleet here is also very, very strong. It will be very interesting to explore the wormholes in this game. I have been waiting for that for some time. Not quite sure if my corporation will become a wormhole corporation. I'm pretty sure that we will be in wormholes, but we will see how that will end up. I'll be approaching towards the sleepers. 100 ships in local, very nice. I think I see some carriers, I see some very expensive ships as well. And more ships are warping in. And of course, some of the other player ships are also being destroyed. So far, the sleepers didn't have any interest in shooting at me. We will see if that will change. So far everything is running quite smoothly, even with this much stuff going on. So the base has 4 waves, each wave has 26 ships. And I think this is the last sleeper of this of this round. Now, once you clear the base, don't be at the base. You have to warp away to the station in order to let a new base respawn. That also accounts for the asteroid belts. If you are a miner, then when you deplete a asteroid belt, warp towards the station to let the belt disappear and to spawn another new belt. And it usually takes around 10 minutes for the base to respawn. The belts respawn a little bit faster, I think. So that's basically how you roll with this new little event. Okay, well, looks like no one is warping away, so let me quickly go towards the station. Coordination is very important for this, and thankfully later on I think I did record while flying with a very good team, well coordinated team, and honestly in the end it did end up being fun. Definitely something that we haven't had in this game so far. Okay, the new base has spawned. It will be time to align myself and it will be time to warp. Well, let's see if this Balgorn will survive the sleepers. Already into warp. Orbit at 24 kilometers. And I landed right on top of them. Well, not exactly on top of them, but very close. Let's align towards the station, just in case. Currently, we have sleeper frigates and sleeper cruisers. They are very fast ships. I've heard that they have very similar stats to the EVE Online sleepers, and that's interesting. The first target is taking some damage. Let me prepare for the next target. I maybe should have picked a micro warp drive for the Balgorn, but I went with the afterburner. Does feel a little bit slow with the afterburner, but my capacitor is in a very good shape, so not going to complain about that. Speed is not the most important aspect for this ship. Okay, first wave cleared. Second wave of sleepers has spawned in. The cruisers have a lot of armor. Or my lasers just don't do a lot of damage. Maybe both. I see a lot of ships still slowly warping in. Couple Macarials, there's a Tempest, there's a Balgorn. No carrier at the moment. I know a lot of players use carrier fleets for this to clear as quickly as possible. One thing that I would definitely remove from this event are dreadnoughts and carriers for the PvP part, because currently dreadnoughts and carriers are kind of dominating the PvP zone of this event. Second wave of sleepers has been cleared. Okay. Next wave has spawned in. The way how you earn points is by participating in shooting them down or by getting the kill. I personally recommend that you ungroup your weapons. Preferably you should use a ship with 5, 6, 7 or 8 weapon slots, high slots, and you practically apply one weapon to each of your locked targets, and that way, even if you don't get a kill, you still get some points from participating in shooting them down. At the moment here I'm not doing that because I kinda forgot about that. Currently enjoying the chaos on screen. There is a lot of things going on at once. In that aspect, definitely something unique that we haven't had in this game for a while. Definitely, I would say it feels a little bit more refreshing than the previous event that we had to scan around, and I think it was, if you remember, back when we had to roam around the whole galaxy looking for clues and stuff like that. It was fun, I did enjoy the story, but there was little action. This has a lot of action, so in that aspect I would say it does feel a little bit more interesting. However, it's definitely not perfect, and it could have been a little bit better. Just look at those ship models. You know, there is something about these ships that feels a little bit nostalgic, and I personally can't wait for wormholes. Should be interesting. The cruisers look, you know, they have a very interesting and unique design. They almost look like drones, but you know, a little bit different. I think this might be the final wave. We will find that out very soon. I keep frigates at keep at range while I use the orbit function on the cruisers, although sometimes I mess up and I click orbit on a frigate. Well, we have cleared the second base, very nice. There is a lot of ships running around, warping in, warping out. One thing that I will also change is the base respawn timer, and I would make the base respawn regardless of ships being present on grid, because I've heard a lot of pilots wait in the base on purpose to prevent the base to respawn. One way to combat that is to remove the base once the last ship has been destroyed. Once the last sleeper ship has been destroyed. Let's go towards the third base. Okay, there are the sleepers. Let me approach them. So far they haven't been shooting at me. Not entirely sure if that's me being lucky or if I am worrying for no reason. After all, this Belgorn is quite tanky, it can take a lot of damage. But again, sleepers are dangerous, so I will play this a little bit more careful, although you don't have to worry about losing your ship. Unfortunately, would be more interesting if there was a risk of losing your ship. But I guess, for obvious reasons, they did make it the way they did, so can't really complain about that too much. Looks like I will have one kill there. Alright, nice. Maybe I should spread my Nosferatus to as many ships as I can, but At the moment I kinda forgot to do that, so my apologies. That way you can get a lot of points for participating in shooting down most of these ships. Okay, first wave cleared, second wave up and running. They did spawn quite close to me, 19 ships, okay, 19 ships. Well, I guess the number of sleepers does increase with each wave. Currently there is 19. In the next wave I expect around 24, 25, we will see. Looks like the sleepers are not interested in my Balagorn. Well, that's okay. I am focusing down on the cruiser. The next target will most likely be the frigate. Okay, you get 50 points for a frigate and 100 points for a cruiser. Nice. That's one more ship destroyed. Let's go and try to get more. Or not. Well, okay. The Balagorn is definitely not the best ship for this event, but it gets the job done. Let me focus on the next target. Sleepers are focusing on the frigate. That frigate is in a lot of trouble now. I see that they use target painters and the frigate got popped. That was quick. They use a lot of modules, so... Oh, and now the sleepers have engaged the battlecruiser. My apologies, the battleship. But the battleship can take some damage, so I'm not worried about them. So far, I have been lucky, I think. I did see some battleships explode, although not quite sure how tanky they were. I know my ship is quite tanky, so it's not easily going to go down. And the last ship of this wave. Let me orbit around that Balagorn. More sleepers have just spawned in. 28 ships. Okay. So with each wave, a couple more ships are being added. Nice. There is a lot of things going on here at the moment. A lot of effects. This actually looks very nice. This looks very nice. And thankfully we did receive this little option to hide the overview. And just look at that. That looks actually beautiful. Perfect for a screenshot or two. Okay, now let me return to the fight. This is the last wave. There's even a Stratios on grid. Interesting. Stratios fighting sleepers. Nice. Well then, it will be time to warp to the base, I think. Let me first see if I can get some nice screenshots with those faction battleships. I don't see any carrier. Or maybe I'm just missing a carrier or two. I don't know. I only see faction ships here and some tier 10 battleships. Okay, well, let's warp to the third round for the base.
Warp drive active.
'96 in local. Okay, I have landed right between the other battleships. Time to lock on and time to start blasting. Now I move around, I'm not going to be stationary. Currently the sleepers are focusing on that cruiser, I think that's a Gila, not quite sure. They use target painters, tracking disruptors, guidance disruptors, Nosferatus and neutralizers. They use a lot of electronic warfare stuff. More ships keep landing. Okay, this is the first wave of the sleepers. Slowly clearing the first wave. The last two sleepers. Alright, nice. Not bad. Let's go towards the next wave. 19. Okay, so first wave 16, then 19, 23, and 28 in the end. What is that? Well, we just got some nice reinforcements. Carrier fleet has arrived. Well, I guess they will bring the whole beehive with them. That's going to be a lot of fighters on grid. If you have a lot of carriers around, then I really recommend that you spread all of your modules and weapons to as many ships as you can. That way you can still get a lot of points for participating in destroying these ships. Mimitar carrier seems to be the most popular one. I see fighters and drones all across the screen. And the game still runs very smooth. I think this is the third wave. I think this is the third wave, might be wrong. I've been actually enjoying all of the fighters and drones running around the screen. Looks very nice. Personally, I haven't been in a big fight in maybe a couple months, so I kind of forgot how good it can look from up close, all zoomed in. This is the last wave, 28 sleepers, well 25 now. 4 last sleepers left. And we have cleared this little wave. So, how did this event feel like? Well, honestly, I personally had fun. This is definitely something different. It's a little bit different from the usual things that we did get, and overall, is it perfect? No, definitely not. There is still there is a lot of things that I would personally change. But overall, after we look at what's going on here, I personally would say to be prepared for wormholes
Warp
at
drive
one point.
active.
Definitely going to be very excited personally to see wormholes, and oh man. But yeah, overall, I would say this event was fun. It could be even more fun, and it could be better. So I really hope that the developers pay close attention to what we players say, and hopefully once we get the actual wormholes, then that should be very interesting and fun. Well then, and with that being said, hope that you enjoyed. Stay safe, fly safe, and I'll see you next time.